It's that time again, where we're back with another Summon Showcase analysis. This time it's the Thunder and Splendor Summon Showcase that runs from the 20th of February to the 12th of March. Frankly, I don't really have the time to be doing this. I've started a new full-time job, I've moved cities, but I'm still going to try and keep this up, see how it goes. So, first 5-star light sword unit that we've got here is Albert. You'll see he's the unit from Grand Blue Fantasy that also features in the Levin's Champion Wyrmprint. His skill 1 is Lightning Burst, deals 1 hit of up to 825%. When it's upgraded by his second skill, it deals 1 large hit of 1238% and 5 smaller hits of 83%. This is, by the way, at maximum level. Skill 2, Thunderous Impulse, this is a 4th strike modifier, and his 4th strike now does up to 102% damage and also paralyzes. It also reduces the skill point gain from his 4 strikes just by a tiny bit, but the way that the skill points for this skill works is somewhat unique. The skill, this skill will actually slowly recharge over time, and assuming you do absolutely nothing, 0 attacks whatsoever, it will recharge in a maximum of 40 seconds. As to whether or not it actually charges up when you attack, I'm pretty sure it would, but you know, I don't have Albert, I can't tell for sure, and I haven't really been doing enough research to actually figure out for myself. But hey, it's a buff. His co-ability is Dragon Haste, standard for sword units, and in terms of abilities he's got 4 strike damage up, poison resist, and also strength up by 20 to 25% when electrified, which is the effect he gains when he uses his second skill. So, fairly decent. Strength buff, that's pretty fucking meaty. Anyway, so in terms of weapons available, got the 5-star tier 3 lightsword, which has a damage skill of 5 hits of 149%, or 165% when maximum unbound, but you know, it's a 5-star weapon, that's pretty unlikely. 4-star lightsword has a heal and a regen, so not really much to be talking about. With the recent Void Battles update, we also have a Void lightsword, which has 25 to 50% skill prep and 15% stun punisher. Not really a competitor to the typical 5-star tier 3 lightsword, but hey, why not? Anyway, this guy's gonna be good for chewing through Shadow Imperial Onslaught if you're so inclined, and he also does massive damage according to the blue simulators. It's possibly also good for the Manticore, but since he's a melee unit you need to be good at reading tells, otherwise you'll probably die in about 3 hits. And the 5-star light dragon for this banner is Gilgamesh. He gives a 50% strength bonus and 15% shadow resist at maximum unbound, so same sort of bonuses that Prometheus gave, but for light units. His skill is 1 hit of 504 to 560% damage. This is a fairly decent dragon for light ranged units or even light axes, due to how axes give you armor, and if the armor negates knockdown then you typically open to a lot of hits in a short period of time. In terms of Gilgamesh's attack animation, it's basically Cupid. It's projectile based, but overall each projectile does less damage and there are fewer projectiles overall. One of the 5-star Wyrmprints for this summon showcase is the Shining Overlord. This is a conditional buff for sword units of skill damage up by 30 to 35%, and also Dragon's Claws as a secondary skill or ability on the Wyrmprint. So this is a stacking strength buff which gives you up to 25% at max. Though that comes after 3 transformations, which is pretty unlikely within the course of the sort of content that we have available at the moment. It's not too bad for swords, I mean the 35% skill damage buff is fairly meaty, but with the secondary ability of Dragon's Claws, you know, I'd rather see something else there. You're rare to see more than 2 transformations into a dragon. Content where you're likely to see 2 transformations are probably something like Shadow Imperial Onslaught, and even then you're sort of finishing up by the time that the second transformation ends. The second 5-star Wyrmprint in this summon showcase is a solitary light. This gives conditionally light units Affliction Guard up to 3 times at maximum bind, and then Shadow Resist of 5 to 8%. Not particularly a great print, but yeah, definitely not something you want to be pulling for this banner. A new 4-star Light Sword. It's another Light Sword, Odetta. Skill 1 deals 2 hits of up to 302% damage in the line, and has a 40% chance of inflicting 5% defense down. Her second skill gives an up to 60% recovery potency heal to Odetta and nearby allies, and also buffs their strength by up to 15% for 15 seconds. Her co-ability is your standard sword co-ability, Dragon Haste, but at a 4-star level it maxes out at 11%. In terms of other abilities she has a 10% strength buff when her hit points are 70% or above, poison resist, and also buff duration up by 20%. In terms of weapons available, well, we already have a light sword this summon showcase, and I'm not going to repeat myself, unlike Cygames, in the fact that they chose to put another light sword in. Odetta brings less personal DPS to the team, but the debuff to an enemy and buffs to her team actually enable her to contribute quite a large amount. However, missing the buff on your team members decreases your overall team damage contribution by about 20%, according to the simulator. You can probably expect to maybe hit 1 or 2 team members if you consider that your third team member is most likely going to be a healer and at range. Then overall the sort of contribution that Odetta gives to your team is based around the team composition. Okay, so the 3-star Water Lance added in this summon showcase is Jakob. He's a defense spec lance, and his skill 1 deals 3 hits of up to 227%, also inflicts Bog for 8 seconds. His second skill gives team defense up by 10 to 15%. You have a 3-star Lance co-ability, up to 9% bonus to hit points, and in terms of abilities he's got up to 50% skill prep, and up to 75% burn res. So typical 3-star Lance stuff. In terms of the stat distribution, he's also the same as Sabella entirely. Now onto the weapons that Jakob has available to him. And sweet babe Jesus, after the Void Weapons update there are a lot of weapons. The normal 5-star tier 3 Lance has a heal skill. I literally have an angry face in my notes here. 4-star tier 3 Lance deals 5 hits of up to 168% damage, so it's not too bad, but you know, it's a 4-star weapon. So for the Void Weapons we've got the one that gives you Slayer's Strength and 70%, and also a weapon that gives you a buff to your strength when above 70% of your hit points. The other Void Weapon gives you Thamian's Bane, which makes you hit rocky things extra hard and gives you dull res. So that's the weapon that you'd want to use for, say, Steel Golem. I could say he's sort of like a Sabella side grade, but then if you take Bog into account, then he's not too bad. He contributes quite well to team damage. Now onwards to the 4-star Wyrmprint added in the Summon Showcase. It's new World Escort. It gives you 15 to 20% skill prep and 3 to 5% recovery potency bonus, which is basically an inverse of Destiny's Hand, where the skill prep and recovery potency are sort of swapped around in terms of primary and secondary abilities. The 3-star Wyrmprint added in the Summon Showcase is Davian Wetlands. I'm not entirely sure how you pronounce that, but that's my attempt. Gives you 15 to 20% Bog res. It's a 3-star print. It's a reprint of Lakeside Euphony, so basically filler. It's nothing particularly useful. And onwards to the Welfare unit added in this event, Felicia. She's a light healer, and her first skill is a team-wide heal of up to 108 recovery potency. 108% that is. Her skill 2 is a 20 to 30% hit point shield and also removes poison. So that's an effect that's unique to Felicia. In terms of her co-ability, then yeah, you've got your recovery potency buff there. And then in terms of abilities, you've got up to 20% undead res, which is mainly ghouls and skeleton enemies. You've got up to 50% poison resist and 50% skill prep. In terms of the weapons available to her, you've got the 4-star light staff, which gives you plus strength for 5 seconds. Not particularly useful for a healer. The 5-star light staff gives you 680 to 755% damage AoE around the unit. From a healer, that's not going to amount to terribly much. And then you've got the Void light staff, which gives you skill prep up to 50%, and then 5% recovery potency bonus. Considering Felicia only has 1 heal, that doesn't really add up to much extra healing. And then you've got the Halloween staff, which is an up to 207% heal to the team member most in need. So let's have to say that the Halloween staff is probably the most useful out of this. And for example, maybe versus the Manticore, then if somebody takes a big hit, then Halloween staff is probably a good pick in order to rescue a team member or 2. Now in terms of their second skill, the poison removal gives you good utility for Shadow IO, since removing poison is effectively a heal, but it's more damage prevention. And this also makes Felicia a good second healer for you to, say, auto Shadow Imperial Onslaught with. Vixel and Hildegard both have regeneration heals, so that would pair quite well with Felicia in terms of sort of padding out the amount of healing that you might require during an Imperial Onslaught. And then there's Hope. We don't talk about Hope. Onwards to the Welfare Dragon added in the event. Phantom. He's a dark dragon, and he gives a 30% strength boost at maximum unbind, which isn't too bad. His skill is a spin, which deals 5 hits of 144% damage, and also blinds for 8 seconds. He's a free dragon. I'm not going to say don't get him, because he's free. The only thing he costs is, well, time and effort, really. And then for the Welfare Wyrmprint, I'm not sure if you'd really call it Welfare, but yeah, it's a free Wyrmprint that comes with the event, as long as you earn it. It's a delightful dancer. It gives you up to 20% poison res, and up to 5% recovery potency. So there's similar bonuses as What a Handful, but slightly worse since it gives you less recovery potency. As for the old stuff that's been added into the Summon Showcase with a rate up, is once again What a Handful. I don't know why they'd actually add this print as the rate up, considering you already have a free print that gives an incredibly similar effect. But yeah, I guess they really want people to have poison resist and recovery potency. We'll see where this leads. And the dragon with a rate up 4 stars is Lindworm, who gives you the attack buff bonus. So overall, not really a bad dragon to be getting in your polls, but sure, why not? As for whether or not I'll be pulling, well, I'm not terribly impressed. These aren't limited units. I wouldn't be upset to get any of them, but I'm not going to exactly blow my entire horde of Wyrmite on them either. Whether or not you want them, well, you know what I say. I'm not your boss, but if you really want Albert because he's your favourite unit from Grand Blue Fantasy, then sure, go ahead. He seems pretty cool. Odetta seems pretty cool. Odetta. Yeah. I mean, those 2 units seem pretty cool. I wouldn't blame you for pulling for them, but yeah, it's your money. It's your Wyrmite. Do what you want. Good luck.